All right, here's our 1600 build laid out, part of it, most of it I think. We got the rods here, getting ready to put those together, and I wanted to show you guys some stuff with the bearings. We had the pin fit the rods, the bushings were a little tight, but we got those good to go now. It's always best to take a pin out of your piston cylinder kit to the machine shop when you have the rods resized. From my other cam gear here it is, or my other oil pump gear rather. But I wanted to show you some things here. Here's the Climax bearing. This is the we're using silver lines in this, and I wanted to show you the difference in the quality. You can see the difference in the look of the bearing. The silver lines, you take a clean t-shirt, you can polish the bearing up, and the Climax bearings and the mall bearings have so much coating on there because they're hiding what's under the coating. I just wanted to show you the difference. And the Climax bearing also has a oil groove on the crank side, not the back side. These have a line on the back side and they feed through the hole. So I think I like the silver line bearings a little better. They're a little pricier, but I think you get more for your money. So anyway, let me set these out of the way because we don't want to get this confused with that confused. But anyway, thought that was sort of cool. There's our other case half all cleaned up, deburred. Got our cam bearings fitted. We had to sand the thrust bearing. I mean, sand it. There's a thrust surface right here, and you want to have some in play on your cam, so you make sure that your cam move back and forth in there. And what you do is you take that and sand it on a piece of glass, sand thrust, and until the cam fits there and turns freely in the motor. When I put it in there, it wouldn't even turn over. I also had to sand this bearing like this flat because it was a little too long and it protruded out of the cam journal too far. So next we're going to bolt the cam gear on. Some guys wanted to see how to do that. This is a Scat C35. These come clearance for stroker motor. You can see the flats, instead of having to grind them in, they're already like that. When you install one of these, you want to have the dot right here, your timing mark at the top, and your lobe should be pointing down away from the dot. So we have the gear on correctly. I'm going to put you on the stand because I can do this with one hand. So anyway, I'll try to capture some of this for you. So I sent Hans up to the store to get me some blue Loctite. I wanted some blue. Red will work fine, but you can't buy Loctite unless you're 18 years old apparently. So they must make some sort of Loctite drug. Anyway, I'm gonna wiggle the cam gear, and these should start by hand. And make sure I get that in the frame there. I have a bad habit of messing that up. But anyway, hand start the cam bolts. Don't hit it with an impact or anything. I recommend a little bit of Loctite on these. It's not a bad idea. So the bad news is the cam gear comes off. And on the stock application, the cam gear is riveted, so that doesn't hardly ever happen on a stocker, but can happen on a performance application. So be sure to Loctite it and torque it. 18 foot-pounds is the recommended torque spec for this size bolt. We might try to get like 20 out of it. Just a little extra. I'll make sure not to let that Loctite get on any of the engine surfaces. Just the bolt you're trying to fasten. Okay, I've got a vise close by. Let me set my torque wrench. Okay, 18 foot-pounds. Sometimes I can hold these, sometimes I have to go in the vise. We'll see what we can do here. Helps when you have the rag. Let me move this rod out of the way. Get it untangled. Okay, let's grab the cam gear. You hear it clicking. Go over one more time, double check them. All right, back that off. So there we go. We have our cam gear installed now. We have our dot at the top, and our lobe is pointing down. So that cam is ready to go. We'll set that off to the side right there, and when we're ready for it, they'll be ready for us. So yeah, next step is the rods. Put the bearings in the rods, and the rod bearings are the same way. I don't know if you can see them over there, but they real nice quality. No packaging coating on them. We used to actually Scotch Brite the bearings when I worked at scooters, and even when I worked for the funny car team, we'd take a white Scotch Brite and scuff the bearing to a shine and get that coating off. It's actually for shipping or to hide imperfections. Most race bearings don't have a coating on it, and you know, of course, the bearing's got a coating on it that's like a coating that's put on there for less friction. You're not going to want to scuff that type of bearing, but regular plain Babbitt bearing. So I guess we'll turn this off. We got the cam gear torqued on, and we're sort of set up here ready to go. Ken said he got a flywheel. I found some dowel pins for the bearings, and I got a timing gear and a slinger and a distributor drive gear soaking. And we got to find some oil relief valves and some plungers and stuff like that. I got a high pressure kit, but I don't know if we want to use a high pressure oil release valve kit. Probably just go with a stock setup because we have a HT pump. That's the other thing about these things. I think a lot of guys have a misconception about how the oil cooler works on a Beetle. I can't get you off the stand, but it's not all the oil that goes to the cooler. It's what the relief valve sends up there. So whatever it's not sending to the bearings, it sends to the cooler. And a lot of times if the motor's weak on oil pressure, it'll see very little oil in the cooler. That's why it's always best to full flow it, because it gets 100% of the oil all the time to the coiler. So that's one of the reasons they full flow. But anyway, that's where we're at. We'll build these rocker shafts tomorrow. There's still plenty to do. Got the crank cleaned up, got the case ready to go. Got the lifters are notched. Show you that. There you can see the little notch right there, and that's when the lifter's got extended lift. The lifter's not in the correct spot to pick the oil up, so when you put this notch in there, it lets more oil get to the top of the motor. Little trick that I learned down at Scooters. And the other thing that I wanted to show you on the lifters, if you're going to run a camshaft, make sure you buy the scat lifters. It saves you time and money. You'll see this is a stock lifter here, and this is a performance lifter, and the bottom's much thinner. This is where you run into the clearance issue and have to cut the case. They already accommodate that in this lifter. You can see where it's machined a little further. The machine surface right here is a machine more to the base of the lifter on the back side. So keep that in mind. The cheaper lifters will work, but you usually end up having to cut the case. Get the proper clearance that you need. Anyway, that's where we're at. And I don't want to get too far ahead of this because I know Ken wants to be a part of the build. I got to work on the oil pump and get it working a little smoother tomorrow. Shafts are tight on that. Anything you buy anymore, you got to sort of touch and massage. So it's looking pretty good though. We'll get the short block bolted together, and then we'll get the piston cylinders up here and lay those out and assemble the top end. So hopefully we'll have a long block tomorrow. And yeah, I've been cleaning all day and prepping. Doesn't seem like it takes that long, but when you start laying everything out and finding all the parts and cleaning everything, it can take some time. So there we go, our cam's ready to go. We deburred that, and we blueprinted our oil pump, and the rods are resized, pen fitted, and I think we're ready. We've done everything we can, pretty much ready for assembly. I wanted to show you guys the cam card for the cam. It was sort of generic. We're not going to degree it because we got a straight up cam gear there. Can't degree it unless you get a degree cam gear. Degreeable cam gear, I should say. But the sheet was pretty generic. I was going to show that to you. And they did, this is the first time I ever saw that they varied the valve adjustment. If you were going to run an aluminum push rod, they wanted 4 to 6 thousandths, and if you're going to run a steel push rod like we're going to run the chrome ollie ones, they said 1 to 2 thousandths on the valve lash. So I've never seen that before, but it's been a while since I bought a new scat cam. You know, most of the scooter stuff that I get from him, his cams are old stock, been on the shelves for a while. So, but anyway, let me shut this off. That's about what we got done today. Did a little brake job on a buddy's car, and I got that Expedition out there. I'm gonna get some parts for that. Ball joints, brake rotors, brake pads, and upper control arms and ball joints on that one. So yeah, so that's what's going on here. Never a dull moment. But thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and Ziggy, you should be getting your Mustang any day now. It's on the slow boat to Australia. I think you're the last person to get your prize. So I haven't heard from Tim's Beetle. I think he won one too. I'm not sure if he got his yet. But anyway, there's a 1600 build, and we'll get back on this tomorrow. I know some of you guys are interested in this, and some of you guys will probably never watch them. But nevertheless, y'all have a good one.